Thank you, Michael, for your introduction and presentation of SLE BCI. I would like now to basically talk to you all about a journey of a developer. Let's imagine basically what a developer would like to do when using SLE BCI as container image. So every developer will probably have the same set of requirements. I'd imagine a Go developer, somebody who has an application written in Go and that would like now to use SLE for its deployment. So let's see, as a Go developer, I have an open source project which is hosted on GitHub, and I want to now containerize my own project. I want to be able to build and test my container image anywhere on any CI/CD pipeline. I don't want any sort of constraints or difficulties in using what is out there and the various different platforms and tools that I can currently use without containerizing my application. I want to ensure that my container is secure, that I trust the content in it, and that it contains all fixes for non-vulnerabilities. Security and the security of the software supply chain is extremely important these days to every single developer out there. I want to be able to be in a position to rebuild automatically my derived container image. So basically the image which contains my Go application, if any of the base images, whether the image used to build the container or the image that contains now my application deployed into a production system in a production environment, well, then I want those containers to trigger a rebuild of my derived container if anything changes. Last but not least, I want to leverage multi-stage build. So basically, I want to use a container to build my project, and I want to use a different container, most likely with the smallest possible footprint that I can get to deploy my project in a production. Why do I want this? Well, the smaller the footprint, the less chances there are that I am affected by security vulnerabilities, or that the security vulnerabilities that I am exposed to then are certainly less. They are fewer if compared to a much bigger container image. So with that, I basically really picked a Go application. It's an open source project called Distribution. It's hosted on GitHub. And this project wants to run a registry locally. So it's an actual registry where you can push and pull container images. It's written in Go and it's going to use libci container images for this purpose. So let's look at the demo. These are my two terminals. On the left hand side, I'm going to build the container image. On the right hand side, I'm going to basically run it. So I've created two scripts just to facilitate the demo. Let's run the build demo.sh and see what it does. So it's basically pulling a container image called Golang from registry SUSECON, and the version that is using is the 117. It's also pulling another image, which is called BCI-micro in its latest incarnation, always from registry SUSECON. And this is the smallest available container image today from SUSE, which contains the bare minimum OS for developers to use. The Golang image instead, as the image itself is called, well, is the 117 version of the Go runtime and SDK. So last but not least, it runs the project once it's built and it maps the port 5000 to this container. Obviously, being a registry, it listens on a given port so that the communication with a client, let's imagine Docker pull, Docker push, or Podman pull, Podman push, um, will basically work. And the container is running, so it's in listening mode. And what we can do now is to run the script which does the run demo. And let's see what happens. So first of all, I'm pulling a BCI-micro image from registry SUSECON. This is the image that I actually want to push to my local registry. So I've pulled it from registry.com, and now I need to remap that image so that basically the push command can take care of the push to the local registry. In order for doing that, the image, which is called registry susecom /bci micro, needs to be retagged, or basically a new tag needs to be added to this image called localhost column 5000 /bci micro. Once this is done, I can actually list the images available on my local cache, and I can actually see it available to me here. I can now push it to the local registry. And if you had a look on the left-hand side, when I ran the push command, the debug messages printed from the registry show the communication between the Docker push command and the registry itself. So the upload of the image has happened successfully, and the registry on port 5000, which is running inside a container, which we built previously, has received and is now hosting the BCI-micro image. Now I'm removing the image from my local cache, so I run the docker image rm command for both the localhost column 5000 and the registry.com for BCI-micro. Why? Well, because now I want to be pulling the image from the local registry, which is running on my machine. I can show you that all the images are gone. So the only image that has been left here is the distribution image, which is running the registry. And now we can pull the image from the local registry. And again, from the left-hand side, you may have seen a little bit more of the debug messages authorizing the request to pull the BCI micro from the local registry and pulling it to my local cache that's running outside of the container. And finally, I can list the images available to me on my local cache. And as you can see, I am running, sorry, I have pulled localhost column 5000 BCI micro again from my local registry. And that's really it. Now, with that, I would like to also show you the registry SUSECON website. So we have a front end to the registry, which basically developers and DevOps and other operators can reach out to. And the registry shows all the available images on the registry itself currently. It's organized in two different sections. We have a base container images sections, which is very much an OS oriented type of images, and a language container images, where we can actually see all the different programming languages, container images. And this one here that I am currently highlighting is the image that we pulled for the distribution project to be built. So if we click on details, we see that this image can be easily pulled by using this URL, which is the URL used in the Docker file. And likewise, the BCI-micro image, the one that we use to copy the artifacts to and deploy the image to production. This is the image that can be basically used, pulled by registry SUSECON /BCI/BCI dash micro column latest. Obviously, there are all possible different tags that you may want to use. I was using latest, which is the tip of the latest available images from the registry. And that's all. With that, I would really like to thank all of you, also on Michael's behalf, um, to listen to us and to attend this session. I hope that you really much enjoyed it. And I have a call for action. Please try the images out. Try familiarizing yourself with the different base OS images, with the different programming languages, images. We are very much open for your feedback, for your recommendations, suggestions, and even if you require any help, please reach out to us, either to myself or to Michael, and we will be very, very happy to assist you and to help you with your journey to use SLE BCI. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of SUSECON.